Maybe your birthday's coming up and your parents promised you a custom glove. You can't go wrong with either glove. You can't go wrong with a Heart of the Hide or A2000. It's not like you're going to get an A2000 and you're going to wish you got a Heart of the Hide. It's not like you're going to get a Heart of the Hide and wish you got an A2000. Today we're going to be answering the age-old question. Rawlings or Wilson? Today we're going to be taking a look at this custom 205 Heart of the Hide and this custom 1912 A2000. This glove I actually got a while ago. I got it back in February. I ordered it in December. It's a 205, which means it's an 11 3/4 200 pattern with a single post web. Very classic looking. The entire glove is brown with gold stitching and gold embroidery. After I came back from San Diego, I really fell in love with the place. I wanted to get a glove to commemorate my first trip over there. So I put LFGSD on the thumb, California state flag on the index finger right here, and it has maroon patches. I did the maroon patches because I felt like the red would have been a little bit too bright. So I think the maroon like really tones it down and goes really well with the brown. This is a custom 1912. It's a 12-inch. It's a 12-inch A2000. I'm gonna break them in pretty similarly so I can get a pretty decent review. Now, these gloves are obviously different brands and different models. To compare these two gloves, we're gonna be looking at three things, which are leather quality, feel, and overall value. Feel is mostly determined by how the glove is put together. Since these are both custom, that really depends on like what the person chose for the glove. I know for my custom Heart of the Hide, I chose full stiffness for the pads, but I chose a thinned out heel pad so that it's a pretty stiff glove, but it's pretty easy to close out of the box. I actually haven't broken it in at all and have had it for over 6 months. And this is actually how it came out of the box. So this is gonna be a pretty quick break-in. Now this A2000 isn't mine, but it's pretty similar in terms of the feel. All these like higher end gloves like Mizuno's, Rawlings, Wilsons, they're gonna have those padded inserts so the thumb and the pinky feel really comfortable on the glove. You're rarely ever gonna get a blister while breaking these in. They're not super tight when you put them on, so they're really comfortable out of the box. And this one's pretty similar in terms of the stiffness. The pad is a little bit thicker, but the glove itself isn't as stiff. These gloves are both really comfortable. I mean, let's see here. Yeah, they both feel pretty comfortable. Like I can't really, if you were to blindfold me, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you like which glove was which. I do know that this one might be a little bit more comfortable just out of the box, just because the heel pad is a little bit thinner, which is an option with both Rawlings and Wilsons. I mean, this is my glove, so I kind of like it better. I'm biased towards it. I mean, the biggest difference is obviously, this one is going to have a wider pocket because of that, extra piece of leather they put in between the index and middle finger. It basically makes the palm wider. I actually have a broken in 1912 from the same person that gave me the pink A2000. Same model, except this one's broken in. And as you can see, this one has a really deep pocket. It closes thumb to pinky without me even trying. But in terms of how nice the glove feels when you put them on, they're pretty similar. I think these gloves are tied. Pretty much very similar gloves. You can't go wrong with both. So Heart of the Hide, they use their top grain steer hide. That's basically just like a type of leather they use for their Heart of the Hides. It's really good. They break in really well. The patina they develop over time is also very nice. I can't wait until this thing actually gets its own patina. It's gonna look really, really nice in my opinion. And Wilson uses their pro stock leather. If you blindfolded me and told me you put on each glove, I probably wouldn't be able to tell. Overall leather quality, I think, is a tie with these two gloves. I mean, it is pretty hard to compare them because this glove is pink and this glove is brown, so the leather actually is going to be a little bit different. It's really hard to explain, but basically this glove went through more processing for the leather to get that pink color, where this is a more natural color. But in terms of how the leather feels, both very smooth out of the box and they both feel really good. So for leather, it's definitely a tie. Newsflash, guys, the A2000 and the Heart of the Hide, they're in direct competition with each other. They're both on the same level in terms of price and everything too. These are actually both gonna run you $400. $399, 90 something, $399, 90 something. I think Wilson takes anywhere from like 10 to 12 weeks. I mean, the person that gave me this glove, they said they got it in like 10 weeks or like a little bit under 11 weeks, which is pretty quick in my opinion. I got my Rawlings in the same exact time, 9 to 10 weeks. So yeah, price pretty much the same, wait time pretty much the same. So the value is right there. These gloves are neck and neck with each other. I know, a lot of people that click onto this video, they want to find out which glove is better. And it's not an easy answer just because these gloves are so similar in terms of like the quality that it really just comes down to which pattern you like the best. It's hard to make a really good comparison with these two gloves because they're very different. This is a 205, so it's just a different pattern. This one is a classic Wilson glove, It's one of their newer models that's been more popular over the last couple years. It features their dual welting like every other Wilson does. So these gloves are pretty different in terms of like how they feel once you break them in and the play style. It all just comes down to player preference. Maybe your birthday's coming up and your parents promised you a custom glove. You can't go wrong with either glove. You can't go wrong with a Heart of the Hide or A2000. It's not like you're gonna get an A2000 and you're gonna wish you got a Heart of the Hide. It's not like you're gonna get a heart of the hide and wish you got an A2000. These gloves are both really good and you can't go wrong with either one. Again, like I said, it just comes down to player preference and what you want in a glove. Of course, there's different colors to keep in mind. There's different styles. Rawlings, they usually offer like a more classic look. Wilson, they can be a little bit more flashy. I like what this person did. They went pink with black and they kind of just murdered out the logos, which I think plays really well with the rest of the glove. This one's just a classy looking glove. It has a little bit of flash because of the thumbtacks and the flag. But again, these gloves are very, very similar. Before I give you my final thoughts, I actually have to break in these gloves. I've been meaning to break this glove in for a long, long time. And now that I have an A2000 to compare it to, I think now's the time to break both of these in. Alrighty guys, so I spent about an hour breaking in the two gloves and they're pretty much ready. I think I did a pretty good job. Not 100% game ready, but definitely much better than how they were before. And my final thoughts on both of these gloves is, I'm a Rawlings guy, so I'm going to lean more towards Rawlings gloves. But do not get me wrong when I say this. You cannot go wrong by getting either of these gloves. Keep in mind that when you get a custom A2000 or a custom Heart of the Hide, just any custom glove in general, they're always going to be way better than stock gloves. Let's say you get a custom Pro Preferred, that custom Pro Preferred is going to be way better than a stock Pro Preferred. If you get a custom A2K, it's going to be way better than your stock A2K. But in general, these two gloves are neck and neck when it comes to leather quality, feel, comfortability, and value. If you like this video, please leave a like. Comment what you want to see in future videos and subscribe to the channel. Let's see if we can get to 5,000 subs by the end of the summer. We're at about 4,400 right now, so I definitely think 5,000 is possible within the next couple of months. Once again, this has been a head-to-head between custom Heart of the Hide and custom A2000. Thanks so much for watching, guys.